Hello everyone and welcome to another casual review. We have reached the end of our Mega Man marathon with Mega Man 11. Before we even get to the title screen, we get a brief glimpse into Dr. Light and Dr. Wily working together as scientists, and they were both researching different topics. Dr. Wily was researching a double gear system which pushes robots to its limits, and Dr. Light was researching giving robots independent thought. It turns out that the board decided in favor of Dr. Light's research, and Dr. Wily was very angry, and that is pretty much where they had their falling out. In general, there's a lot more dialogue in this game, nothing too plot heavy here with twists and turns, but at least a lot more than previous Mega Man games. And they brought back voice acting from Mega Man 8. However, I really like the voice acting in this game more than Mega Man 8's voice acting, particularly Mega Man himself. He actually sounds like a man, or a young adult rather, but a lot better than the little kid voice in Mega Man 8. The Robot Master's voice acting still leaves something to be desired, but not quite as cringy as it was in Mega Man 8, where every time they are hit by their weakness, then they do this same voice line over and over again. It is done a lot more tastefully here in Mega Man 11. Before you start off the game, you have 4 different difficulty options, which I think every game should have. It makes this game accessible to everyone. There's like really easy, normal, and difficult, and I chose normal difficulty just because that's the type of gamer that I usually am. But if your coordination isn't as finely tuned as other people, then you have that option to play an easier difficulty, which I think is really nice. And if you think Mega Man is a cakewalk as it is, you have this difficult option. So I just think that the more options, the better for every single game. Visually, it looks a lot more modern looking compared to the previous Mega Man games with their 3D assets. Nothing too amazing. No, it's no like Ori and the Will of the Wisp, but it still looks really nice compared to the previous Mega Man games. There's a lot more modern quality of life mechanics and choices here, where Rush Coil and Rush Jet are both mapped to their own button. So if you're playing on the Switch, Rush Coil is mapped to the X button and Rush Jet is mapped to the A button. So when you are platforming on the fly, you don't have to pause and go into the menu, select the Rush abilities, and then go back into the platforming. It just feels a lot more smooth here. And to add to that, all of Mega Man's abilities are added to a quick wheel using the right analog stick. I personally never really used this quick wheel, but I bet if I took the time to really get used to it, it would be helpful to hurry and switch your abilities on the fly rather than having to pause. I ended up using the shoulder buttons just because that's what I'm used to in a Mega Man game, but it probably would be a lot faster if I did utilize this quick select system. Mega Man finally has the full package once more. He can slide, he has his charge shot. However, he cannot shoot in all 8 directions like Bass could in Mega Man 10. Actually, now that I mention it, I didn't see Proto Man or Bass in this game, and they might be DLC characters or secret unlockable characters, but they were surprisingly missing from this game. But that's fine. I'm just glad that Mega Man has all of his mechanics back. Speaking of mechanics, let's talk about this new gear system that is introduced in this game. Mega Man is able to superpower all of his abilities using the Power Gear, or speed up significantly using the speed gear. And when I say speed up, I just mean everything around Mega Man is significantly slowed down. A good example of this would be in Futurama, where that episode where Fry drinks 300 cups of coffee, and he is moving super fast, but if we are seeing things from his perspective, everything else is slowed down around him. This is particularly beneficial when you are dodging enemy attacks or when you're doing difficult platforming. Now, when you're utilizing one of these gears, you have a meter that slowly fills up, and if it fills up all the way, then Mega Man will overheat and you won't be able to use these gears for a set amount of time. But if you do remember to turn this gear off before it overheats, you are able to really abuse these gear systems and use them all of the time, which I heartily recommend. I had to get really used to using them. I had to keep reminding myself that they were an option because they weren't in the past 10 Mega Man games, but once you really remember that they are here, it really helps out. So if you are struggling playing this game, just remember that you have the option of these gears, particularly the speed gear, which really slows things down. It is so helpful. I do like all of the Mega Man abilities in this game, and I feel like they all feel really unique rather than just a simple projectile. There's like one that drops blocks from the sky. You have a shield ability in this game, just like most of the other Mega Man games. However, it acts a little bit differently compared to like the typical leaf shield, where it surrounds yourself with this acid barrier, but it changes changes Mega Man's projectile into these acid droplets rather than having to touch an enemy with your shield or fire it at them a la Leaf Shield style. They have sticky bombs, which are cool. There's the Thunder ability, which acts kind of similar to Bubble Man's ability, however, it goes in both directions. They have a Bouncy Ball ability, which ricochets off of balls, similar to Gemini Man's ability. One ability in particular, called Pile Driver, launches Mega Man forward, and I thought that this would be particularly beneficial when doing platforming. However, if you do collide with an obstacle, then there is a huge amount of recoil, so this ability ended up killing me a lot more than it ended up helping me, so I kind of stuck to Rush Jet when traversing across horizontal gaps. And if we are talking about the power gear in this game, it adds additional effects to all of these abilities. So the block ability, for instance, rather than just dropping 4 blocks from the sky, it drops like 12. Or the Bouncy Ball ability, rather than shooting 3 bouncy balls in one direction, it shoots them in both directions. So it is good if you aren't using this speed gear system. Always use this power gear system, especially when fighting bosses and using their weakness ability. Super beneficial. And whenever you get a new ability, it allows you to demo it on a respawning enemy without consuming any ammo. So you can really get a feel for it before jumping into the next level and having to consume your ammo to try them out. It's the little touches that make this game really cool. Your abilities also don't just change your color palette, but they add additional features, like it changes the shape of your helmet and your arm cannon, which is a cool touch. They brought back permanent upgrades, which I'm very happy about because I severely missed them, and you are able to purchase them using a regular currency rather than having to find special bolts like in Mega Man 8, I think it was. And these permanent effects don't add anything too huge, like one makes it so your gear system cools down quicker, or you don't slide on icy surfaces, just little things like that. But it is fun to purchase, especially if you are getting game overs, because you are able to hold on to the currency that you got when you are playing through those levels, so it doesn't feel like a complete waste of time, because like, okay, now I am able to purchase this upgrade and I can try again. And once you are satisfied with your upgrades, you can also purchase, of course, the temporary items, things like lives or E-tanks if you want, or a beat to save you if you fall down a pit, or a spike guard so spikes don't insta-kill you. And once you purchase these temporary upgrades, you can really abuse them to make the game significantly easier as well. I gotta say though, it's kind of weird that we're still on this life and game over system from old games. And I guess they did want to stick kind of true to the original Mega Man games. However, I feel like lives just aren't that fun. I guess it does raise the stakes whenever you are playing a game like this, because I will admit, when I was playing through the first 6 Mega Man games, I was not as careful as I probably should have been, because I could always rewind and retry. But when I was playing through the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, I was definitely more careful with my platforming, because I would have to start back at checkpoints and could potentially risk getting a game over. I guess it does make things a little more satisfying when you finally do clear that difficult level. I just feel like lives are an outdated system in general, though. On that topic, they did make Wily's Fortress a little easier. They brought back the thing where every time you clear a level with Wily's Fortress, all of your ammo refills, which is really nice, and you are able to go to the shop to stock back up on items such as E-tanks and spike guards and beats. You know what? Now that I think about it, in general, Wily's Fortress was actually a lot easier than previous Mega Man games as well, especially because I had purchased all of the upgrades that I could, and I was really able to stock up on those temporary items. I had like 9 E-tanks at the very end, so I do think that Wily's Fortress was more of a cakewalk, especially by then I had mastered this gear system and I was able to really abuse it. As achievements, once more, they had these back in Mega Man 9 and 10, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just fun when you finally pop one of these achievements. You actually get some sense of satisfaction, and it does add some replayability to this game, because it is still a Mega Man game, which means that it is actually kind of short. I think my save file said it took me 3.5 hours to play through, so a little longer than most of the other Mega Man games, so it's still short compared to a lot of other modern games. So you can hunt for achievements if you want a little bit more replayability here. It is kind of weird having Rumble in a Mega Man game. All the other 10 Mega Man games did not, and so when I was playing through this one and my controller would vibrate, at first I was a little thrown off. It's definitely a welcome modern mechanic here, but it's just not something that I was used to. The soundtrack sounds like I'm at a rave, which I can really get behind. It makes me want to chug down a Rockstar and get some glow sticks and dance around. It's actually very high octane music, which I think is good. Is it better than all of the other Mega Man game soundtracks? I don't think so, but I'm quite partial to the chiptune music, especially from Mega Man 2 and 3. Overall, I think I can say that this is my favorite Mega Man game. And granted, there are a lot of more modern mechanics, and visually it looks nice, the controls are smooth, the gameplay's fun. I mean, what else could you ask for? I would even go as far to say that this is a 5 out of 5 game. And I can definitely see myself replaying this game soon in the future, especially because of how short and bite-sized it is. I even recommend it to all types of players, whether you're a veteran to Mega Man or you are a newcomer to Mega Man. It's not like you need to play through the other 10 Mega Man games to really understand this game. As for all of the Mega Man games, the plot definitely takes a backseat in lieu of gameplay. And you have these difficulty options, so if you're a little intimidated by the difficulty of this game, pop it on easy and give it a go. Well, I'm sad to say that our Mega Man Marathon has finally come to an end. We have played through all of the Mega Man Zero games, all of the ZX games, and now all of the mainline Mega Man games. So I guess the next Mega Man Marathon we have coming up would be the Mega Man X collection, which I've never played through and I hear very, very good things about. So we'll have to return to Mega Man in the future soon. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about Mega Man 11, the Mega Man series in general, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Bye!